Okay, everybody, this episode, you could call it a mishmash. I've still got to, still got, still waiting on the block. And real quick, people mentioned that I should show more detail, so I'm going to try to do that. And they also mentioned that sometimes they can't understand me because they said I was mumbling. I don't mumble, that's just my boring monotone voice. So I'll see what I can do about that. But on this episode, we're going to try to get a lot of the stuff done that that hangs off the engine. So I'll show you that here in just a second. Okay, I still have to finish putting the clutch back together. I powder coated the housing and the springs. I had a friend of mine, I was going to have him turn down the, what do they call them, the Eyebolts, but then I realized it would be smarter to just drill the holes out for the Eyebolts larger, because I could not find the small enough Eyebolts, so I found some that are just slightly larger. So I got to pick that up from him and put the clutch back together. If you notice, I've got my valves. I started to clean those up. Machine shop notified me that apparently the shafts on these were worn too much. You know, they had me to line up the valve guides. They wanted the first cylinder valves. I took those into them, and they notified me that they weren't going to work, at least to them. So I ordered new valves. As soon as those get in, I drop those off to the machine shop and let them finish that up. Over here, I've got, this is the shaft, impeller shaft out of the water pump that I had to drive out, and I've got a replacement, brand new replacement. Here's the seal, and let me see, shaft's down there, I believe. Yep, right there's the shaft. Here's the replacement shaft. So, sorry about that. There's the replacement shaft. I have media blasted the housing. Now here's a problem I ran into when I did that. It was my mistake. See, you can see I use these plastic plugs to protect the inside of that shaft. I did not realize that there was a C-ring here between the seal and the bearing, and so when I pressed it out down here, I broke some of the casting off right in here. So what I'm going to have to do, where did I put it? Maybe it's over here. We're going to go, I'll try to find it here, but we're going to go and we're going to put the old C-clip back in there, and then I'm going to use some JB Weld on that to fix that. The other thing I found that concerns me where is it? Well, it's sitting around here somewhere. There's the impeller. It's fine. Somewhere around here is the back plate that goes over this. And it is, let me turn this on, maybe I can see better. There it is. Very pitted. So I'm going to go ahead and JB Weld that too and grind it down. So there's a hole, an erosion hole there also. So that's what we're going to be working on today. Okay, what I've done, and you can probably see the damage to it. I put the C-clip back in, and you can see, right along there is where it broke out. I don't know, it'd probably be okay, because theoretically the seal will sit in there. There shouldn't be any water antifreeze getting past there. But just to make myself feel better, we're going to use this JB high heat, and I'm going to squirt it in there, and then what I'll do is after a little bit I remove the C-clip, and then I'll grind it down, and I hope, fingers crossed, that will work. Okay, I've mixed my JB Weld up. It's nice gray consistency. I took a popsicle stick and cut it down and squared it off. Now we're going to try to put it in there and square that off. I don't think I'm going to be able to hold this so you can see when I'm applying it, so I'll do it and then show you how it turns out. Okay, that's what it looks like. I'll let it set up for a while and then I'll attempt to remove that that C-ring. So in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and see what we can do to fill this stuff up. Okay, here's how that plate looks like after I applied the JB Weld. Once it sets up, I'll grind that down smooth, hopefully. And then I still have a little bit, see that on the back? That looks like an erosion hole there from the block. And then we got a little bit right there we should probably fill up. Then my plan is, I've got a can of Glyptal left. I'm going to coat the inside of this and the inside of that with that, and I'm going to powder coat the front of the housing. So we'll move on, do a few other things here, and then get back to this once it sets up. In the meantime, this stuff is still pretty tacky. And in fact, that kind of, oops, let's see if you can see that. There you go. That stuff was gooey enough that it actually ran down, so I may have to do another coat, but I'm waiting for it to finish so I can hopefully pull that snap ring out of there and then grind it down. Okay, I pulled the C-clip out of there. And this is hardened up. Interestingly enough, this stuff's still tacky. But anyway, what I'm going to do is take this and carefully grind that down. And then our next step will be to go ahead and powder coat the outside. And then coat this with the Glyptal. So this is going to take 2 hands. Let me do that and I'll show you the aftermath. Okay, hopefully you can see that, but I got ground off. Pretty good. Would have liked to have been a little bit smoother with it, but anyway, it's going to do the trick. So we'll get this powder coated next and start to put it together. I need to fill some spots on that yet, but like I said, this stuff we'll let cure a little bit longer. Alrighty, let's see what it looks like. Take it out. Alright. Huh. Interesting. But there's what she looks like. We'll pull our plugs out of here. Go put those away so we don't lose them in a minute. A little one stuck down here. Okay, got those off. So far so good. Here's something that's funny. Pull the tape off here. Okay, so that fell out. No big deal. So it's all taped up. So that looks all good. Boy, that came out really good. I'm gonna, I had a cap in there that I must have lost in there. I don't think that was the right cap. Anyway, it melted through the bottom of the plastic there. So, you can see there's the circle that it melted. So we're going to take that out. And I've got these pulleys and the impeller shaft all ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and put those in. Turn it on. Let it heat up, and we're going to put those in and outgas them. Okay, here's that backing plate. After I hit it with the old grinder. Not perfect, obviously, but I like it a lot better than it was. I'm going to take this round file and straighten out these 2 holes here, and then figure out how we're going to preserve it. Okay, put a coat of Glyptal on the inside of the water pump housing. I tore apart the seal that was in there and just put that in there to keep that area protected from the Glyptal, or knock that back out when I go to put the new seal in. Trying to decide if I should Put another coat of it on there or not. That's probably good enough though. Okay, here's how I'm going to try to deal with where to paint the Glyptal on the backing plate, on the back plate. I'll lay out the gasket on here. I drew it out. I'm going to take a razor blade and then try to carefully cut that out, remove the tape, and then I'll just paint the Glyptal inside there. So let's see how that works. Try to give you a bird's eye view of this as I either fail or succeed here. I do not have the most steady hand. As far as I know, this is probably even an unnecessary step. I got it in my head, so now we're going to try it. Alright. Here we go. Well, I don't think it came out too bad. So I'll put the Glyptal on here, paint that, let her dry, and we'll do the other side. I didn't even cut my fingers. What really helps a lot is when you actually stir the stuff up. I thought I was a little runny when I did that, and then I put it on here and realized it was all sitting at the bottom. It was all sitting at the bottom of the can. So we've got a coat of the Glyptal. There we go. On the back side now, we're going to let that dry. Of course, we got it. Showed you this earlier. We got it on the inside of the housing. Anyway, you're supposed to, after it sets up, you're supposed to cook it in the oven at 150 degrees for 2 hours. So we'll get that done, and then I think it's about time to start reassembling. Here's our plate after pulling the tape off. So we're gonna lay it on our aluminum foil covered rack to put in the oven. And the reason I'm putting the aluminum foil on it, so I don't want it to stick to the powder coating that was on there. I got this set, and it's about 200. So about as low as I can go with this oven. So we're set her in there and see what happens after it bakes for a couple hours. Oh, Shaggy. We got another boo-boo. Trying to get the manifold ready and broke both studs off. I believe that's on the exhaust. So we're trying to weld a nut on there and see if we can get that come out. And I'm gonna have to take that to machinist or something, have them get that out. Because I cannot, for the life of me, drill those straight. Another day. Okay, we're moving on to getting the oil pan ready. First thing I need to do is clean up the gasket surfaces. What I use on that is I use one of these little tools with these, what do they call it? Sorry. This one doesn't say. I think this is a cheap knockoff, Chinese knockoff. You can see where the outside ring is of those little needles are already coming off. So go ahead and I think these are made, the real ones are made by 3M. Pay the extra money and get them because these things don't last. But anyway, what I'll do is clean up those surfaces, and then we'll get it ready to paint. Okay, there's that surface after we've cleaned all the old gas material off of it. I even did these here. Notice this has got some nice gouges. I have to see if that seal that goes in there is going to actually seal it up, or if I'm going to need to do something with that. Now, the next thing I need to do before, I think I got to throw this back in the media blaster, is you notice when I was taking the pan off, I've got to straighten that out. There's so we'll go through here and straighten that out. I'm just using a square. You can see it's not very straight. I'll take it over, put it on the back of my vise and try to straighten it out that way. I really need an anvil really bad, but haven't been able to find one I can afford yet. But I try to put it on there and straighten that out. So hang on. All right, I got the sides pretty well straightened out. What I ended up doing is I would lay it on here on the end of the vise, and using the bigger ball peen hammer to hammer it flat. I tried using a body hammer and a dolly, and this stuff's really thick through here because it's double. and it wasn't having any of that. So I've got it pretty well straightened out. Let me see if I can show you. I don't know how well this will show up. This is the worst side. I mean, there's a little bit of gap in there. The other side's a lot better. I'll flip that over and show you. If anybody's got a good, I'm just using a square for a straight edge. If anybody's got a good idea, there's a little bit of gap there. And you can see some down there, but it's pretty good. So, my next problem is that dent there. The only reason that's a real problem is it's underneath the windage tray here. So I'm going to have to figure out how to knock that out. Maybe what I do, let's go set this over here. So I got this big brass drift. I think what I might try to do first is just take a hammer and hammer it out that way. So let's see if we can do that real quick. It helps a lot if you have the air compressor turned on. All right, there you have it. It's ready to, it's been media blasted. There's where I pounded out that. I'm not, I mean, it's a forklift. I'm not that worried about it. You know, when you media blast it, it takes out some of the small surface scratches, but obviously those large marks are going to stay in there. And then you saw me in the Sure Shot. We've got some Summit pre-paint prep spray that, you know, degreases it. I did that and dried it off. So I'm going to apply a coat of paint on it now, or primer. All right, here's our first scratch coat. We'll let that dry for about 20 minutes and then we'll put a second coat on it. Okay, I'm about to put the second coat of, well, I wanted something that would high heat, and this is the only thing that I could find. So, and it's aluminum. So we'll put that on there, or shake that up, put another coat on there, and then the oil pan should be done. Alrighty, there she is. Oh, would you look at that? Brand new exhaust valves, brand new intake valves. So I take those down to the machine shop so they can get the seats ground and everything. Alright, we got a delivery today from UPS. We got our new vaporizer. Boy, that thing looks like it's been sitting on the shelf for a while. I don't care as long as it works. Then we got this. Get her open for you. And this is a new thermostat. And then I also got, basically that's what holds the thermostat in. They call it some type of adapter, or at least that's what it said on the invoice. So when we get to putting that back together, we have that ready. That's an adjustable vaporizer. So I'm going to have to try to find instructions on how to adjust it. Trying to look around, see if I can find out where the old one is. But anyway, that's where we are on that. Well, would you look at that? It's October 29th. I guess it was inevitable, but we got our first snow. I was hoping we'd get a little bit longer Indian summer so I could work, well, continue to work over the winter, but I've got this big old concrete building and it gets cold in there. So I guess we're keep working away. I've got enough on stuff I need to put up that I think I'm going to probably end this video or this episode here. We'll see we heated up the Glyptal and got that all cured. Let's see if we can get that other one. I'm wondering if this plate didn't stick to the aluminum foil a little bit. Yeah, I thought it would. Well, not as bad as I thought it would. So we'll go ahead and get that put back together. I got the hydraulic pump taken apart. We'll start working on that. And I also got the clutch pressure plate back so I can put the clutch back together. So we're end it here. Please like and share and follow so we can keep doing this. And we're next time our show putting that stuff back together. We should have the engine back. We might have a few surprises on that too. So till next time, this is Rusty Bucket.